What a week it's been in the Bain trial. A juror got visibly upset at one stage. This is a long trial containing graphic evidence, and the 12 New Zealanders sitting on that jury will be thoroughly looking forward to the long weekend off. But the crucial evidence we've seen this week, and we will see more of next week, is about whether Robin Bain could indeed have shot himself. Joining us now again is leading criminal lawyer and barrister Marie Dyberg. Marie, it's great to have you back. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you, John.
This has been a fascinating week, hasn't it?
It's been a great week. It certainly seesawed backwards and forwards throughout the week. There's no doubt that the evidence of the Crown pathologist sitting in court with a rifle and a silencer, very compelling, showing, in his words, very difficult, almost impossible to have pulled the trigger.
We have this on the screen now, Marie. There it is over there. So he's reaching out and he's desperately trying to reach the trigger. He's talking about the angle of the gun. This would have been riveting stuff for the jury, I suspect.
There wouldn't have been a sound to be heard in the courtroom, that is for sure. Then, of course, what we see the next day is that there were many other situations that Robin Bain could have been in when he used that same rifle. And in the end, that witness who used only one example of one position, having to concede other positions, Robin Bain could well have shot himself.
We have that piece of cross-examination. It's a very short piece between Michael Reid QC and Alexander Dempster, the pathologist we've just seen holding the gun to his head. Let's hear what took place there.
If you're giving a fair demonstration to the jury, why would you give a demonstration that really is just totally unrealistic? Why would you do that?
Because I was not asked to step down and show it in other positions.
That was a remarkable little exchange, wasn't it? Because what we had previously seen from Alexander Dempster, as you said, was so riveting. Then Michael Reid's saying, well, is this the only way you could possibly hold the gun? And Alexander Dempster's saying, well, there may have been other ways. I wasn't asked to show them. Were you surprised by that exchange?
Well, I think most lawyers would have been somewhat surprised, because what we must remember, although an expert is called either by the defence or by the Crown, in reality they are witnesses for the court. They are supposed to be objective, have no bias, and they're there to present their theory, and it may well conflict with others. That's not a problem. But their theory as to what their area of expertise shows. So I think many would have been surprised with an answer, I wasn't asked to demonstrate.
OK. We actually have had quite strikingly contradictory evidence from the pathologist, because Alexander Dempster seems to be suggesting that it was a close, if not direct, entry wound. Kenneth Thompson, who was in court today, is saying no, it could have been up to 20 centimetres away, which would really seriously exclude Robin Bain. So once again, these two pathologists are at odds. Is that often the case with expert witnesses?
Well, generally not from the same side, as it were, although, strictly speaking, we don't have sides. We know from the evidence we heard in court today that there is a pathologist that the defence are calling, who was the pathologist involved in Princess Diana's death, to give evidence on behalf who is going to be totally opposed to the theory that's already been given.
Three different pathologists, all of them highly credible and highly respected, saying quite different things. This is utterly bewildering for the jury, isn't it?
But this is... Well, in the end, it isn't, and it will depend upon what concessions are made. So through cross-examination by the defence, we saw those concessions made, and we ended up with a number of other positions being perfectly reasonably possible for Robin Bain to have shot himself, being accepted by the Crown pathologist as, yes, that could happen, and yes, it could be easy.
Marie, very quickly, we're about halfway there. 6 weeks, it's set down for 3 months, it may go longer. How exhausted will the jury be?
They will, I think, be actually very interested. The judge will be looking after them, not overburdening them, but I think now they'll be quite caught up by it. But, of course, emotionally exhausted. We saw a juror break down. We're used to those photos, but members of the public aren't.
No, that's the truth. Marie Dyberg, it's great to have you in the studio as always. Thanks so much for joining us, Marie.